back to the NDP football podcast, Splat in your ear and Splat in your eye. Today, we have a combo episode. That's right, Splat in your ear and Splat in your eye. So, today, folks, we have got a good one in store for you today. We've got something special going on. We have a special guest coming on from the other team. We have special guest Josh Edmonds coming on for a Splat in your eye appearance. And we have a lot of great game clips that are going to be put in as we go along. So the style of this podcast is going to be a little bit different than usual. Majority of the time, what I'll do is I'll talk, and then I'll clump together whatever I have, like game clips, and then I'll have the segment with the guest. Today, what I'm going to do is I'm going to kind of mix it in as I go, and kind of change it up. And that's what I'm all about lately, changing it up and making it better. So, let's talk a little bit about the game. The Irish make history. For the first time since 2004, the Irish are district champions. They defeated the Blackhawks of Brandon High School 54-40, a shootout. And the Irish prevail. So, let's talk about who really stood out. Who helped put up those 54 points? My offensive MVP of the game is Ethan Johnson, who had 6 receptions for 77 yards. And that's not a big stat line, but he had 3 touchdowns. 3. In this big of a game, that is a huge deal. So, I told you before the game, if you catch a touchdown, I'll get it on video and I'll put it up on the podcast. So I go down there, they're in the red zone, I go take a video, right? My phone freezes and I don't record it. And I tell Ethan, he's like, "Oh, don't worry, I'll get another one." He got 2 more. So on the night, Ethan had
Oh yeah.
not 2. Three touchdowns. What a monstrous performance. That was huge. Clayton Bone, who's usually putting up the bigger stat lines, this game kind of took a little bit of a backseat to Ethan, but still played a very good game. 5 receptions, 38 yards, and a touchdown. He played very well, and he did very well on defense as well. Did a nice job making some big plays, which this defense needed. I mean, they gave up 40 points, but, one of those touchdowns was kind of in garbage time, and, one of them was a pick 6. So, I mean, 40 points really isn't 40 points in this scenario. So, he played well. Ryan Cuny, he also got on the board with a touchdown. He had 2 receptions for 12 yards and this touchdown. Now, Connor Geschke, the guy we talk about on every single podcast, didn't have a huge night, but he was a tank. He had 47 rushing yards. He was really tough to bring down, and he punched in these 2 touchdowns. Jacob Benson had a very solid game. Only 158 yards, but 5 touchdowns. He did have 2 picks, but he did his job and he did it well. He spread the ball around a lot, and I thought one thing that he did very well that not a lot of people were talking about was he was very mobile in the pocket. He was able to evade pressure, and a couple of times he was able to get upfield like this.
Not 3 yards, 4 yards, 5 yards.
Webb then took the dagger and put it right into the Blackhawk heart with a 43-yard touchdown run. Check it out.
Yes, go! Go! Go!
So let's flip over to the other side of the ball for a minute. The defense. They played very, very physical defense, and they were hard hitting. I mean, when they would grab a hold of a kid, they would have a bunch of other guys coming, and they would plow him over, or one guy would just lay the boom. You know, you see the scoreboard, it says 54-40, but 40 is really not an accurate representation of how this defense played. They didn't play their best game, and there are definitely some things they need to clean up. They got killed by the screen, but I think overall, I think they made a very good effort, and I think they played a decent game. But for Powers, they're going to have to clean up their defense against the screen. But as I mentioned, though, they would just a kid would get the ball, and one guy would grab him, and then it'd be like a swarm of guys, and then they drive him into the ground.
Screen!
Defensive MVP of this game is Blake Burr. Blake Burr played a great game. He had 6 tackles, 3 tackles for loss, a sack, and 2 forced fumbles. That is a huge game. He made such a difference on the field, not only with those stats, but on every single play, getting pressure, helping stop the run. Just a very, very well-played game by Blake Burr. I mean, he was on the ball almost every play. I mean, despite giving up more points than anticipated, the Irish won their first district championship since 2004, but now it's time to make history and do something that the Irish have never done before, and that is win a regional championship. But standing in their way is a very, very tough task. Flint Powers. We will speak to one of their stars, Michael Romzek. If that name sounds familiar, it should. He went to Notre Dame Prep his freshman and sophomore year. He now plays for Flint Powers. He's a linebacker, tight end, and fullback for them. And he looks really good on tape. I watched a little bit of his film. He looks really good. And they are led by a very mobile quarterback, a guy who can scramble really well, but he also can throw very well, Luke Philpotts. And the thing with them is that they've got a very explosive offense, but their defense is rock solid. And that's what makes them really good. It's going to be a very tough test for the Irish, and it should be a clash of titans. So the winner of that will face the winner of Detroit Country Day and Milan. And I tell you what, folks, this game Friday night, you got to be there because it's going to be an entertaining one. One last shout out. I have to shout out the girls volleyball team. They won their regional championship tonight, so shout out to them. And hopefully the Irish, the football Irish. Now, I do have a few other clips from the game, so go ahead and check those out.
We love you, Splat!
And I'm here with a special guest, but this is a new kind of segment. For the first time ever, we are having an opponent on. He at one time went to Notre Dame Prep, transferred after I think sophomore year, and then he currently now plays for Flint Powers. He is the starting middle linebacker, also plays tight end and fullback. I'm pleased to welcome to the podcast Mr. Michael Romzek. Michael, how are we doing tonight?
Pretty good. How about you?
I'm doing great. So, as I said, brand new segment, first ever opponent guest. So I got a few questions for Mike, and then we'll move on to the rest of the podcast / video episode. So, Mike, first question: how does it feel to come back to your old high school for such a meaningful game?
Well, obviously, we're gonna treat it as any other game, but to me, it has some special meaning because I'm so close with a lot of these guys, and I've been playing on that field since 6th grade, and it's just gonna be an unforgettable experience, win or lose.
Yeah, for sure. And 6th grade, was that St. Joseph's, right?
Mm-hmm.
I think I might remember playing against you with the Golden Helmets of Marist Academy. So,
Oh yeah.
so moving on to question number 2. I remembered you, you played baseball at NDP. Are you still doing that at Flint Powers?
Yeah. I played last year as a junior. I'm gonna play this year. We had a pretty decent team last year. Got knocked out of the playoffs earlier than we would have liked, but yeah, it's a lot of fun. I still enjoy baseball, like, no matter where I'm at, and of course I miss my old teams. We had a lot of fun, but that's just how it goes.
Yeah, I remember one of those teams I was on freshman year. That was one fun year.
Oh yeah.
So, third question. How was your role at Powers different than your role was at NDP for the football team?
Well, freshman year broke my foot, so I didn't get to play much there. But then sophomore year came back, started at linebacker and tight end, and then I moved on to junior year, and then beginning of the season I had a knee injury, so I had to have surgery, so I was out for all of that year. But then coming back to this year, again, back at linebacker, tight end, fullback, got voted team captain. Not much has changed between comparing this year to sophomore year, but just the team that I'm on, people I'm surrounded with, and yeah, I love the game of football and still do.
Well, that's a great attitude to hear. So final question, Mike, and this is a little bit of an one of those questions I've asked a few other people. I've asked Nayland this, and I'm not sure who else, but I gotta know, Mike. Post game, win or lose, what meal are you going to after the game Friday night? Because I know you gotta be hungry.
My go-to McDonald's McGangbang.
You're going right after.
Mm-hmm.
So, as soon as you get off the bus, you're heading straight for McDonald's.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Best way to refuel my body.
Oh, yeah. Well, that's football player fuel right there.
Oh, yeah.
All right, Mike. Well, thanks for coming on, and I would say good luck, but you're on the other team, so. All right, man. Thank you.
Yeah, no problem. See ya.
So now I'd like to welcome to the episode my special guest today, Josh Edmonds. Josh, how are you feeling today?
I'm doing good. Thank you, Splat.
That's great to hear. And so I have noticed a trend lately. When people find out that they're coming on my podcast, which you did a little bit early last week.
I did.
They happen to play very well. And last week, you continued the trend with a fantastic interception.
I mean, I think I had to promise you one, didn't I? That Friday, I promised you I was going to get one going into the game.
Yeah,
I had to hold the true. So
appreciate it. Sticking to his word. I love it. So today we're going to change it up again with the interview questions. So what I'm going to do is I've hid these 5 questions. Right now we're in the office. I've hid these 5 questions all around the office. I'm going to have you find them. When you find them, you're going to pick them up, read them, and then answer the question. And then for the trivia, that'll be a little more straightforward. But so I'm going to mix it up a little bit for the interview questions. So interview question. Look around and see if we can find it. All right, first one's got it.
See ya here. As a safety, what is your favorite thing to do in a game? Honestly, I think my favorite thing to do in a game is just play back and get to see read the quarterback and read through his progressions and see maybe a kid run across the middle, because every time you see a kid running across the middle, your eyes just light up as a safety because you're running downhill and then you can always have the chance to make that big collision.
Oh, that's always fun.
So it's always the best.
Oh yeah, that's awesome. The interception of the collision, yeah, that's cool.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So are we looking for the next one?
The next question, where is it?
See this one up here.
Oh, I made that one too easy. Here we go.
Oh, this is a good one.
It's a giant one.
Oh, yeah. Oh, my God. You hadn't played football for a long time before freshman year. I actually never had before freshman year. But when I got out there, I looked like I hadn't skipped a beat. What were some of the things that helped me transition back smoothly? So honestly, I played soccer my entire life growing up. So I think soccer helped me with the transition because you're always moving and it's kind of a physical game, which a lot of people don't know about. So the physicality from soccer and the constant athletic ability that you have to play soccer really helped make that transition really easy into football.
Yeah. I was gonna say, like, I remember the first win, freshman year, the only win. You guys went 1-8.
Yeah.
I was there, and I was gonna say, like, I never remembered you playing, but you looked really smooth out
Yeah.
there. So I was pretty impressed with that. So
Thank you.
yeah. So let's find it. Oh man,
This
that
was
was
too,
right in
right
onside.
there. Oh, it's a short one too. What is your favorite drink? I think I gotta go with the Shirley Temple. Like, you can't go wrong with the Shirley Temple with the Sprite and the grenadine. Like, a well-made Shirley Temple goes a long way, in my opinion.
Oh yeah, really? So I'm surprised. Most times I get like a soda or something.
What's your favorite drink?
I don't. That's a tough question. See that's one of those things you got to think about. I'm thinking probably, I think a good Sprite would really help me out.
I agree. Like the
A good
lemon
Sprite.
lime. 'Cause,
Yeah.
like, the good contrast.
The one with LeBron James is
Oh, the mix, yeah.
Oh yeah.
Of course.
Oh yeah. So there's two more.
Now this.
Now I kind of gave you a little bit of a couple gimmies, but yeah.
Oh, that's disgusting. Oh, I see this one.
Oh yeah.
Trying to hide it under that thing from me. Oh my god. Let's not rip the question. What's something, oh dear, that we should look for from Flint Powers? Honestly, Flint Powers, they're a good team. They got a fast young quarterback, and they obviously have Michael Romzek, who used to go to our school. He's a big tight end. He plays middle linebacker for him, and he also plays fullback for him. So they have a fast running back who they like to run the speed option with. But I feel like we've been practicing it for it on defense, and we're ready for it. So this last question though, Matt. I think I heard it might be out of the room.
Yeah, it may not be.
So
I think you might have to exit the recording studio for Splat in your ear / Splat in your eye.
Really?
There you go.
We got it. So we're gonna go back in here for the question. You feel like?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Don't want to get anybody on Splat in your eye that doesn't want to be on there.
All right. Do you like sweet or spicy foods? Obviously, sweet foods. I live on candy. I eat candy every day of my life. Spicy foods I cannot handle. Like, if you give me maybe mild wings at beat-ups, I'll be like dying of heat. Like, I cannot handle them at all. So sweet things are definitely my favorite food.
Nice. So this has been definitely one of the more fun segments.
Exactly.
I knew I had the cup long with Daniel last week, and
That looked like a lot of fun.
now,
for you.
now I had to step it up even
We got a
more.
little scavenger hunt.
Oh,
going,
yeah.
of
Oh,
course. So
All right.
thank you for having me, Splatty.
Thanks for tuning in, Irish fans. Make sure to like and subscribe. And remember, stay classy.
Wake up the echo, cheer it,